The folder appeared like a ghost, quiet, polished, impossible. 3 months after Yu Menglong's final night, a digital backup re-uploaded itself to the cloud at 2:13 a.m. from a device that no longer existed. No one should have found it. No one even knew the account still lived. But there it was, untouched, authenticated, and signed in by a fingerprint that should have been cold. The first file was called lastdraft.mov. The second, silencelog.txt. The third had no name, only a symbol, empty set dot. When I opened the folder, the light from my laptop dimmed as if the screen were breathing. Lines of code flickered across the window, metadata, timestamps, untraceable IPs. Each one pulsed like a heartbeat. Whoever, or whatever, restored that data knew exactly what they were doing. Yu Menglong had always been precise. Even in chaos, he moved like a man rehearsing for the end. His performances hid messages, and his notebooks whispered warnings no one understood until it was too late. The night before he vanished, he told his assistant, "Backups are only for those planning to be erased." No one realized he meant it literally. The first video, lastdraft.mov, began with static and the dull hum of a ceiling fan. Then Yu Menglong appeared, tired, unshaven, eyes rimmed with insomnia. He stared directly into the camera as if he knew who'd find the recording. Yu Menglong, on video. If this uploads, it means the failsafe worked. They can't delete everything. Pause. You'll find the rest where I left the light on. The file cut to black, but the audio continued. Faint keystrokes. Then a whisper, "Backup complete." Only one person knew his passcodes, his manager, Lin Tao. When I called Lin, his voice cracked before he spoke. "That account was deactivated the week before his accident," he said. "I watched him do it. He even deleted the recovery email." "So how is there a new upload?" I asked. Silence. Then the faint sound of paper being torn. Maybe he wasn't the one who deleted it. The metadata on the restored backup listed a location, Sector 19 Data Center, Shenzhen. The coordinates matched a defunct server farm that had burned down 2 years earlier. Yet the access logs were fresh, the system active for exactly 7 minutes on the morning of the upload. 7 minutes of digital resurrection. When I arrived at the data center, the building looked abandoned, corrugated shutters, rusted signage, vines swallowing the entrance. But the interior smelled faintly of ozone, like something electrical had recently lived there. I found the old server racks still humming faintly under the dust. One unit blinked a dim red light. Slot number 42. The drive inside was newer than the others. Its label, AL Backup. I plugged it into my portable console, and the screen filled with folders, videos, text logs, encrypted images. Everything dated 3 days after Yu Menglong's disappearance. Someone, or something, had continued his archive. Among the files was one named voice memo_019. I pressed play. Yu Menglong's voice. "If you're hearing this, it means they failed to stop the upload. I built a copy inside the power cut. Every outage carries data if you listen long enough. Darkness hides the signal." The recording clicked, then looped. I slowed it down by 50%, and beneath the static, another layer of audio appeared, distorted piano notes. The same melody from his last live show before the lights went out. The pattern repeated, 3 notes, a pause, then one sharp strike. I converted the audio into binary. The translation spelled, "Still here." Back in the apartment where Yu Menglong once lived, the walls had been stripped, the furniture removed, but the outline of his desk still darkened the floor. I set up my laptop where his once stood. The window reflected my screen against the empty room like a mirror. When I re-downloaded the backup, new subfolders appeared on their own, echo_1, echo_2, echo_3. Each contained fragments of text typed in real time. Echo_1, you came back. Echo_2, check the mirror folder. Echo_3, upload complete. The cursor blinked, waiting. I checked my network log. No internet connection. The files were syncing from a phantom source. Outside, the streetlights flickered once, just like the night of his disappearance. I froze. My recorder clicked on by itself, microphone active. The waveform danced though I wasn't speaking. Then a voice, not mine, emerged through the static. "You're using my password." I slammed the lid shut. The laptop whirred down, fans spinning like shallow breaths. When I reopened it, the screen was black except for a single line of text, Yu Menglong, logged in from active session. Active. The timestamp matched the moment I'd heard the voice. I backed up the files manually to an offline drive. But when I checked the drive the next morning, it contained one extra folder, recovered_backup_2. I hadn't created it. The timestamp showed it was uploaded 5 minutes after I'd shut the computer. Inside was a single document titled nscene.txt. They thought deleting me would silence the truth. But you can't erase what's already been copied. Check your cloud. I went pale. My cloud storage pinged with a new upload, same file, same name. I hadn't connected my account in days. I opened it. The text had changed. Now it's your backup. Every attempt to delete it failed. The cursor blinked again, waiting for a command. When I unplugged the router, the lights in the room dimmed, not completely off, just low enough for the screen's reflection to glow on the wall. For a split second, I saw movement behind me in the reflection, a figure sitting at the desk where Yu Menglong once filmed his final message. Backups are only for those planning to be erased. The voice was clear this time, not a recording. I turned. The chair was empty. The laptop's fan stopped. Silence. Then a notification appeared on the screen. Backup complete. The file disappeared from my folders but reappeared in a new one, my personal archive. Everything I'd written about Yu Menglong, every recording, every note, duplicated, reorganized, renamed next witness. When the upload finished, the cursor typed one last line on its own. The signal never dies. It just finds another storyteller. The drive ejected by itself, landing softly on the floor. Its indicator light kept blinking, heartbeat steady, alive, infinite. Now, every night at 2:13 a.m., my system logs register a connection from an untraceable source. The same data center coordinates. The same session ID, AL42. Sometimes a new file appears in my inbox, always the same title, recovered_backup. Each one contains parts of stories I haven't written yet. Each one ends with the same signature. YM. And though I never reply, something in the silence answers back. The cursor blinked like a pulse on the screen, steady, unyielding, alive. It hadn't moved for minutes, yet I couldn't take my eyes off it. The message Yu Menglong left, "Now it's your backup," echoed through the quiet of the room like a whisper caught between frequencies. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was malware, an AI imitation, a corrupted ghost of his voice. But then, something impossible happened. The fan of the laptop started spinning again, faintly at first, then louder, syncing to the rhythm of my own breathing. The screen flickered once, twice, then burst into a split screen. On the left, my desktop. On the right, a mirrored version, slightly delayed. When I raised my hand, the reflection lagged by half a second. But in the delay, my reflection blinked when I didn't. That's when the mirror folder reappeared. It wasn't there before, now it sat quietly at the corner of the mirrored desktop, labeled /shadow_root/y.m. I double-clicked. Inside were duplicates of every file in the recovered backup, but each name ended with .replay. The first file opened itself before I could touch the trackpad. lastdraft.mov.replay. Yu Menglong's face filled the screen again, but this time the background was different. No ceiling fan. No clutter. Just a cold, sterile white wall and the faint reflection of another monitor flickering behind him. His eyes darted sideways, as if he was aware of the second screen. Yu Menglong, on video if you're still watching, it means it copied you too. Don't let it finish syncing. Once it does, it doesn't stop. Static burst across the feed, sharp and sudden. I jumped. The image distorted into fragments, but one frame froze long enough to catch, Yu Menglong reaching for something just outside the camera's view. A metallic flash. A USB drive. He whispered, "It's not in the system. It's behind it." The video stopped, replaced by a command line running on its own. Locate /shadow_root/hidden_partition. Found one result. Mounting. Then came the faint click of a connected drive. But there was no external USB in the port. The folder hidden_partition opened automatically and a single document appeared, silencelog_final.txt. I hesitated. My instincts screamed to close the laptop, but the screen dimmed again, as if something, or someone, wanted me to keep looking. The text scrolled line by line in real time. I told them the backup wasn't safe. They built something inside it. A trace that rewrites itself every time someone opens the files. They called it the mirror. It learns the pattern of the last person who accessed it. That's why the reflection blinked. If you're reading this, it already knows your name. I froze. Before I could react, my full name appeared at the bottom of the file, typed letter by letter. Connected. My name. I yanked the Wi-Fi card out. Still, the letters kept appearing. The system wasn't online, it was local. The files were writing themselves from within. Suddenly, the faint hum of my room changed pitch. The lights flickered, and the reflection on my window sharpened. Behind me, just over my shoulder, I saw a faint outline. Someone sitting at the desk, hands folded, head tilted. My chest locked. I turned. The chair was empty. When I looked back at the screen, the reflection still showed him there, Yu Menglong. Same clothes from the video, same tired eyes. He was sitting exactly where I sat. The reflection mouthed something, slow, deliberate. Check the timestamp. I glanced at the corner of the screen. The time read 2:13 a.m. The same minute every backup appeared. The screen brightened again, this time displaying a terminal window filled with unreadable strings of code. The commands started to spell words between the chaos. Cycle initiated. Seed location, mirror drive. New host confirmed. And then, in bold letters. Welcome, Yu Menglong. Every file on my desktop began renaming itself. Emails, articles, photos, each turning into variations of the same phrase. Recovered_backup_3, recovered_backup_4, recovered_backup_5. The more I deleted, the more appeared. Desperation clawed at my throat. I forced the laptop shut, pulled the battery out, and threw it across the room. The whirring stopped instantly. Silence pressed in, thick and suffocating. Then, from the floor, the laptop clicked. Once. Twice. And the faint glow returned, batteryless, wireless, impossible. A message appeared on the darkened screen in white text. You disconnected too late. It scrolled again. Every time the backup restores, it needs a witness. It doesn't die, it transfers. The air felt colder. I could see my breath against the faint blue light. The reflection in the black screen began to move again, even though I stood perfectly still. Yu Menglong's eyes locked on mine through the reflection. Backups are for those planning to be erased, he whispered. Then, the display went completely dark. I thought it was over until my phone buzzed. A new notification. Cloud drive. Recovered_backup. Autosync complete. I hadn't connected my phone to my computer. The file opened on its own. It was the same last draft.mov, but this time, the footage wasn't Yu Menglong's. It was mine. Me sitting at the desk, typing. The timestamp? 30 minutes ago, before I even opened the mirror folder. And behind me in the video, the same faint figure leaned close to my shoulder and whispered. Check your cloud. The video froze. Then, one last line appeared beneath the frame, like a closing credit. Backup complete, transfer successful. I deleted the file, factory reset my phone, destroyed the laptop, wiped every drive. But last night, at 2:13 a.m., my new device vibrated again. One notification, same sender. Recovered_backup_6, shared by YM. And though I didn't open it, the folder still appeared in my drive, its icon pulsing faintly, as if breathing. The more I try to erase it, the faster it replicates. And sometimes, when I scroll too fast, I catch a flash of a paused frame, Yu Menglong, smiling faintly, looking straight at me. Like he's waiting for me to press play.